You fill your mouth with words and words. You twist them well. Oh yes, I heard. Shits and ties don't cover your light. I see you come. You the try, you try. You know me, you say we get the same society. Oh, you know me, you say we get the same philosophy. Oh, you know me, you say we get the same society. Oh, you know me, you say we get the same philosophy.
Hello viewer, it's good to have you join us on The Baroness, the show that brings you issues as it happens. Things that are hot, burning in your mind, things that people don't want to talk about. We bring it just the way you like it. I am Anita Malum, and today I am not alone. I have my sister here with me, the ever lovely looking Beyu Yitmanyam.
I'm happy to be here, as always. The Baroness, never a dull moment, I tell you, Anita. And I like this purplish, right? You know, it's simple, but, you know, but you're looking glowing. You know,
Yeah, you know, there's something about color. Color has a way of bringing you out, you know, and if you know the color that works for you, then you better go for it. Yeah,
honestly.
all the time.
Yes.
All the time. Well, two of us are enough just for today. Nene is off for today. She is engaged, but of course she sends her words, good tidings, and she sends her best regard. We will take you back a bit to last week for those of you who are just joining us. Last week we took a trip with Dr. Ken of ABS Hospitals and Diagnostics, and we were looking at ways in which families that desire to have children but are otherwise having difficulties can access help that is affordable. And Dr. Kenneth Oguda told us that there is the natural IVF. We got to know that natural IVF is as effective as the other popular IVF, and people who have been shying away from it because of funds are now encouraged to access it, because it is affordable. And one thing I liked about what Dr. Ken said, it is not a problem that is peculiar to women alone. Men also have issues, and it is a service that can be accessed by both male and female, and it is available in Jos. The best part of it for me.
You know, somebody may ask, why didn't they talk about this natural IVF before now? Why are they bringing it now or something? But he mentioned the fact that he trained for it.
Yes.
For all of these procedures, you need training, and he trained for it. And so they do it around here. And why would you may ask, why natural IVF? You could have other issues that are hindering you from conception, but using your natural hormones and everything,
that's right,
you know, you could, you know, be helped to achieve pregnancy, you know, eventually. So this is just what is about the difference between, you don't need drugs,
a lot of drugs
which,
for that,
which according to him, that's what makes the whole thing costly for those who do the normal IVF. Let's say the normal IVF now. It's because of the drugs that they need to administer. A lot of them are foreign, if not all, and they are so expensive. That makes the whole treatment expensive. And you know, he also natural,
it's
it
cheap.
reduces
it's
the
affordable
cost, since they don't have to induce you into this or manipulate that or this, you know, before.
And he also made mention of the fact that people that have health challenges, you know, and who might react negatively to some of the drugs, to the heavy load of drugs that are used for the normal IVF, can access such a service with the natural IVF, and it works as well. So hope is not lost.
Hope is not lost, actually. You
can
still make your home a happy one, for that matter. Having children, cry here, laugh there.
And if you are having difficulty accessing this kind of help, just get in touch with us on The Baroness, and we will connect you with ABS Hospitals and Diagnostics, and that help be rest assured, will come your way. Back to today. Today I'm excited. I'm excited because, you know, recently we celebrated 100 days in office of this administration, and very soon we will celebrate another 100 days, and the celebration will be for the 9th Assembly. You know, 100 days in office. People have been wondering, 100 days, what is it all about? Why do we have to celebrate 100 days? Celebration of 100 days dates way back into the 1800s. It is not a today thing, and it has been celebrated the world over. Actually, it started with the French Napoleon. He was in exile. After 100 days, he came back. You know, that is some history. And he took over his kingdom before he was finally defeated at a war. But other developed countries use 100 days as a time of achievement to assess their achievements so far, especially for new administrations. You just come in. After 100 days, it is expected that you would have achieved so much. You would have made a lot of difference in 100 days. And other heads of state have been able to do so. Other assemblies and legislatures have been able to achieve so much within 100 days. Even though 100 days is still not enough for you to say this is it, no, but 100 days kicks the ball rolling.
To give the impression of the direction that you are taking
and
as
what
a
to
leader.
expect.
What to expect. And somebody should be able to say something about your administration in 100 days of your assumption of duty.
That's right.
That you did this. We think this is the direction we're going, and like that. I think that is a significant thing about 100 days so far. Yeah,
and it is celebrated worldwide, so it's not just something that's peculiar to Nigeria, in case you don't know. Now you know. So next time we're talking 100 days, you also key in, and not only key in, but you also keep your eyes open so you see what it is that you are hoping to get from the administration that is on ground. We are celebrating the 9th Assembly. I'll give Bates the time to introduce our guest.
Yes, our guest today is one of the rare people that you would want to meet. And reason being that on the Baroness, we have severally advocated and promoted the cause of women and have insisted here based on factors, indices, factors here and there that show in decision making, policy formulation, everybody needs to be involved, not just one part of the society.
That's right.
We are talking about women. We're talking about the fact that women need to be involved. Yes, we caught a big fish today, so we have her in the studio, and it's my pleasure to introduce Honourable Surveyor Esther Simi Dusu, and she is member representing Jos-northwest State constituency in the Plateau State House of Assembly. You're welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Wow, you know, it's exciting having her. You know,
this introduction tells you a lot about the lady we have in the studio today. She is not only trailing the blade, I mean, in this particular assembly, but she's also in one profession that you will think there are no women. It's not just for men. So she has been daring the men. We get to hear why is she daring men all this while? Did you grow up amongst men or something? You have more brothers, or what informed all of these choices? You are the only female now in the State House of Assembly, and you read a profession that, you know, naturally, let me also say naturally, supposedly was exclusive of the men.
Good morning, viewers. I'm also delighted to be in the studio this morning with this charming young woman. I tell you, they can talk. And I'm happy because that's the only way a woman can express herself. She asked me a very interesting question. How did I find myself in this area, profession where you can hardly find women? But I'm glad she said women can do it. Yeah. And I'm one of them. I'm an estate surveyor. And just like she rightly said, how do I come about being there? It will interest you to know that I was the only female admitted in my time.
Wow.
At the late entries, I had other 2 on board. So I went into it just myself alone. Now, the most interesting thing is to let you know that I'm the only female my mother has.
Okay.
So God has just had his way of doing things that I've always been alone at a point in time. But after a while, I have people coming. So I know that even for me being the only female in the House of Assembly, my sincere prayer is that before I leave there, we'll have at least from the 3 zones of Plateau, the north, the central, and the southern zone. I wish that was it. But I know they're coming on board.
Yeah. They'll join you.
Yeah. We look forward to that time, you know.
Yes.
You know, as from what you said, you seem to have been sort of like a lone ranger, you know, at certain points in time in your life. How has it been for you, being the only female? Let's start with your with home now, home setting. Being the only female at home, and then being the only lady admitted to read a course that was at that time thought to be just for men. Were there challenges? Were people supportive, or how was it for you?
Yeah, even at home, let me start that way, that by me being the only female at home, it helped me to be independent. Growing up, anything you see, I was just myself and I. And it helped me to stabilize.
Okay.
I had a few disappointments in life. Let me say, being a young girl, when I pick a friend, I always want to make a sister out of the friend. I just give you all. And after a while, you find betrayals here and there. So I had to shed it off and face life on my own. Yeah, coming from a girls' school, girls' high school, Ginri, basically, and then going to an institution where you find out you're the only female, it wasn't easy. It wasn't. But I had a few friends, classmates, who stood around me and encouraged me. Growing up as the only female, I think kind of helped me as well, because I became a tomboy. Yeah, I could face issues without fear. Yeah, because it's a normal lifestyle. That's how I grew up to find myself. So I accepted it that way.
Interesting.
And just like the boys around me, I didn't really find anything so fascinating about men, because I was always around men. We're on air, but let me just say this. Actually, it got to a point that I was acting like a man, and my father would call me and say, "Essie," I say, "Sir," he said, "You are a girl." My father needed to remind me times often that you are a girl, you are not a boy, so behave like a girl. You know, and in my time, you know, those times, most girls, I will say, rather got pregnant, because they were not used to being around the boys. But since I was always around the boys, even if a boy happens to touch me, it didn't mean anything to me. It didn't transfer anything into me. I was just a normal person, because that's where I'm coming from. And it helped me to remain focused, to the point that growing up, I didn't even have male friends, and because I was fighting. So I asked one of my friends, I said, "I don't have boyfriend. I'm not beautiful, right?" He said, "No, you are beautiful." I said, "Well, you have a boyfriend. So has a boyfriend. So has a boyfriend. But I don't have." She said, "It's because you fight."
Oh, so you took
So
up all
the guys are scared. But you see, even when I tried to behave girlish, you know, to calm down and be like a girl, I had gone far educationally. So they were not a distraction to me at all. So that's the aspect I will say that it rather helped me, to be where I am today.
Interesting. That was quite interesting to know that your background shaped you a lot. Who would have thought? Did you think that you were going to end up a politician? at that time?
Yeah, you know, being a politician, somehow, part of the ingredients is you have to be bold, you know? So I think that is part of what has made me to be who I am. I contested elections in my A-levels. I represented my department. I won to the House of Representatives. So standing to speak or face an audience was not too much of
an issue.
No, it's not, it's not an issue. You know, so that is there. And then, you know, secondly, I'm an evangelist. So preaching and speaking in public is also part of me. Yeah, so all of those attributes, I think, culminated to where we are at this stage.
But one will think that it's like a walk in the park for you, in the State House of Assembly, being the only female, you know, representing Jos-northwest. In the State House of Assembly. Do you find that a different experience being amongst men?
Not at all.
Okay.
I don't find it a different experience. I see the members of the House of Assembly like my brothers. I just see that, you know, and I'm actually myself. If you ask them, they will tell you she's just herself. And glory be to God, they have been of immense help to me. Yeah, just not to make me feel different. They have been around me, you know, very supportive.
That's nice. Good to know. You know, we're, the House of Assembly, the 9th Assembly, will soon celebrate its 100 days in office. And like we mentioned earlier, 100 days should be a time of assessment. You know, so how far have the Assembly gone so far in the past 100 days?
Yes. The 9th Assembly, I would say, I don't know how you look at the 100 days, but in times of legislatures, that I can speak on. If I say I will speak about other issues, that will not be right. Being that basically the responsibility of a lawmaker is to make law, of course. Or a legislator is to make laws, and then be engaged in oversight functions, and then representation. And so I will want to speak more on the aspect of lawmaking. Being that, you know, the money or whatever funds to actually act or do the aspect of representation, as people will say, is what have you been able to attract or do to your constituency, which shouldn't have been the primary purpose. But because people are not yet so conversant or enlightened with the basic rules, they just feel that you should have been have built a skyscraper for them somewhere. Within
100 days?
Yeah,
wow.
Do they care? In fact, within 30 days, they've started placing demands on you. What has she done? She's been there, what has she done? But, you know, the House of Assembly is not yet autonomous. And so it still depends on the executive arm of government for it to be able to do any of those expectations of the constituents. But in terms of legislature, in terms of lawmaking, within the days, yes, we've done a lot. A lot of motions have been moved. We have the issue of the bill on autonomy, which we are working very hard, is still at the committee stage. Yeah. We also have the bill on the establishing of a Hill School of Nursing in Jos, which has passed through the second reading. And overwhelmingly, all the members are on the aye side of it. Yeah, being that, of course, if that institution is in place, first and foremost, is going to open up for more employment. It will ease the life of people in time of financial accruement. And then also, you know, it's an institution of learning.
That's right.
So people will get to be open to the knowledge of healthcare services and that's quite interesting.
Yeah, it is.
Aside that, to do with my profession is adding to the infrastructures in the town, seeing a big place like that. So the House of Assembly, the 9th Assembly, have really tried within the 100 days. So many motions have been moved by different members in the House, including my humble self, which, to be sincere, it's quite in motion. People we are already active, moving towards achieving those motions that have been passed in the House.
Interesting.
Yes, because I was going to ask if you came into office, I'm sure you had something in mind for the people. That was what pushed you to, you know, vie for that position. And so now that you've been given the opportunity, well, let's say you have moved for, is it a bill that you presented or a motion of public importance? Or okay.
Yeah, that's the motion of urgent public importance.
Okay.
I won't speak outside of my profession as well. We had the collapse of the 3-story building recently, some months back, at one of my wards, Garbadaho, precisely, where we lost about more than 13 lives were lost in that. Aside from that, we lost a lot of businesses that were also in that same structure, and that spurred us into action. All the members of the House of Assembly, after moving the motion on the floor, we went on the spot inspection to see the rate of devastation that that has caused, and to also pay a courtesy call to the families affected, and even the entire community. Yes, so the House of Assembly members were there, and that's one of the motions I moved. We also had the motion on the issue of gangsters, cultism, you know, which was becoming something else, particularly in Jos-northwest. And by the grace of God, that has also been curbed to a large extent. Yeah, because the security agents were able to move, and there's a lot of calmness now. People can go about their daily activities. And some months back, by 6, 7, you can't move freely around that axis. Tudunwada, Kabong, Jenta, Adamu. It's something else. 6:37. But now life is being returned to normalcy. So these are part of it. We also have some that are coming up. The plight of this street cleaners.
Street cleaners.
Yes, I remember you mentioned that when you remember when the Baroness had their 3rd anniversary.
That's right.
We call all the aspirants, women, aspirants at that time to speak. You mentioned this particular concern that you had. So I'm glad to know that you took it further.
Yeah, I did. Okay. I took it further, and by the grace of God, I know as we resume, because that has already been distributed to the members to reason along before the next sitting.
So, sorry, what exactly do you want government to do concerning them?
Yeah, that, let me say, about 18 years ago, that basically was to alleviate these poor widows from losing their breadwinners, probably husbands, you know. And so that program was brought in place, and they were placed on a stipends of just about 8,000. And you're talking about years past, 8,000 is still 8,000. And the recent one I got unhappy about is that these women come out very early, and you know why? They need to. Because they are cleaning the streets. By the time the streets get busy, a car can knock them off. So most of them come out as early as 5:30 and sweep the streets before they get busy, you know. And you are kept there. They ask them to sit there until 12. And then they send a so-called supervisor or whatever. and then come to see them before he discharges them. You see,
I don't understand. What does the supervisor do? Does he come to give them some sort of allowance, or what does he do? Because in times like this, you come very early, it's expected that when you're done with your work, then you leave, or you can juggle 2 jobs, you know.
I'm so happy with that, because I think you're speaking the emotion already.
All right.
Yeah, right on air. I had a maid in the house, and she will finish her sweeping in time past, and then come to work. And then she will add the 8,000 plus what she's getting from my house. And then all of a sudden they said no, that the supervisor said you cannot pick 2 jobs. Most of them sell either oranges or perishable items. So after they finish sweeping, they go to the market. But when you keep somebody who stepped out of his bedroom at 5 or 5:30 and come and keep him out in the sun till 12, and you know, some of them come out at cold seasons, so they can't even afford to take their bath. They come out there, sit down. At 12, you ask them to go. Well, you ask a question, does he come to give them some allowance? I doubt it. I think just a roll call, a normal formality. But if the work is done, and you can actually come to inspect and see that the place is as you expect it to be, I don't think you should have a problem with that. Whoever done it, even if it's an angel, let the angel come and collect the salary. That's all. It's 8,000. And that's my pains. These women can, if actually the program is to help them. Now, a lot of them have students, children in school. How can 8,000 pay school fees for the children?
That's an interesting question. How can 8,000 pay school fees? How can that stipend, you know, take care of their needs? We will be talking more on issues such as these when we come back. After the break, it is still the Baroness, and we have the Honourable Member of the House of Assembly, the only female member of the House of Assembly right now, and she is in the person of Honourable Surveyor Esther Simi Dusu. We would continue with our discussion after this break. Don't go away.
A dull moment on PRTV.
Never a dull moment on PRTV. Much more exciting moments on The Baroness with Nenedum, Bates Mwanyam and Anita Malu every Tuesday 4:30 p.m. and Friday at 10:30 a.m. on the TV arm of PRTV. The Baroness.
Giving women,
youth,
children and vulnerable groups in the society a voice.
Join us.
We may have to fight internal violence when the insurgency dies down.
What we discussed last week
Was on children.
is what an aspect of this violence
Against children.
been meted against children, especially the girl child.
Word of advice would you have? Because we have a lot of young people who are aspiring to leave the shores of Nigeria for those greener pastures in those other countries. And those greener pastures, that kind of green pasture almost cost Tony his life.
Never a dull moment on PRTV.
Never a dull moment on PRTV. Much more exciting moments on The Baroness with Nenedum, Bates Mwanyam and Anita Malu every Tuesday 4:30 p.m. and Friday at 10:30 a.m. on the TV arm of PRTV. The Baroness.
Giving women,
youth,
children and vulnerable groups in the society a voice.
Join us.
Thank you for joining us. It is the Baroness, and today quite an interesting discussion we are having with the only female member of the Plateau State House of Assembly in the person of Honourable Surveyor Esther Simi Dusu, and she is representing Jos-northwest constituency at the State Assembly. We are discussing issues around the 100 days in office of the 9th Assembly, and she has told us so far how far they have gone, the motions they have moved already in the House, and some of the functions that they have carried out as a House. Before the break, we were talking about the women that clean the streets, and she has told us what they have been able to do, the motion that is on the floor of the House pertaining to that issue. We want to look at the other motions and the other bills that were on the floor of the House from the 8th Assembly right up to the 9th Assembly. The motion that has to do with women and children, the VAP bill, the Equal Opportunity Bill. What has happened to those bills? How far has the Assembly gone in light with that?
Yeah, thank you, because you know the 9th Assembly is not yet 100 days, and we still have a lot of time.
Okay.
And by the grace of God, we'll pick them up again from where the 8th Assembly stopped.
Okay.
And see what we can achieve on that. You know, the 20th of this month precisely is when the 9th Assembly will become 100 days. So just 3 months into the game, and I think we have achieved what we can for the moment. So I will not be able to answer that this is what they're doing to that for now.
But of course, you will visit the bills.
Yeah, we'll visit the bills by the grace of God.
So that gives us hope. We know that something happens.
You know, when you were introducing, you're giving us some tips about your background and the rest of them. The question I'm about to ask, I almost was like, I hope we are safe, because we see you as having, besides the Jos-northwest constituency, we see you having, there's a constituency you represent that is even larger than that, which is the women. The women constituency, the children, the youths. These are your constituency. Well, let me say by nature. Let's say nature.
Grand design.
Yes, divine arrangement. You are a woman. And so we anywhere we see a woman in the holding a hem of affairs in the office, we see her as representing us, you know, other women like that. I don't want to say that we fear this one, that you feel comfortable around men, and the fact that you have dared into the men's world a lot. I hope we won't have to remind you like your dad that you are a woman.
And we are still around.
So what plans do you have with regards to this particular constituency, even as your role is law-making?
That's right. I thought by the first phase of this discussion, you would have known where this woman is driving at. And you would have known that she can get it, and anyhow she's going to get it. By this last discussion about the issue of street cleaners, this isn't just about Jos-northwest. Yeah, the bill is talking about the whole plateau, wherever the widows are, in the southern zone, central zone, northern zone. So it's talking about all women. I'm not just talking about Jos-northwest. So it tells you that my mind, my heart, my spirit, my body is ready for the women. Even the other issues, all the other bills, if you have part of your team are in the House of Assembly, they will tell you how passionate I get up, and the voice in which I advocate on every motion that is raised geared towards the direction of women.
Wow.
I remember that we talked about the issue of water, and that was raised by a member from Panshin. And when I stood up and I began to give them the statistical numbers of women that are raped going in the morning to look for water, women that die out of childbirth because of lack of clean water, in all those issues, you know that I speak from the perspective of a woman, and how any motion in the house will affect the girl child or the woman. Yeah.
You know, that makes us very safe.
It makes us very safe. You know, when you talked also about the fact that you hope that some other women will join you in the State House of Assembly.
It's my prayer.
It's your prayer. Yes. But I think that having, okay, let me use the word conquer, having, because election in Nigeria is like war. So having gotten to this particular point, I am sure you have nuggets that you would want women behind you to take note of.
Yeah.
You were a few that came out vying for this position, but you know, came out successful. You know, looking back, what would you have women do? Because it appears we seem not to have gotten the thing.
Yeah.
And as if it's eluding us. Yeah. But having somebody like you, you know, we would like to hear from you. All that we talk about here, Anita and I, is just talk. We don't know anything.
Yes. So practically now, what is expected of women if they want to make a difference, if they want their voices to be heard, if they want to make an impact politically, what is expected of them?
Now, to the best of my knowledge, or I stand to be corrected, we have over 90-something registered parties in Nigeria, right? And that's where it starts from.
Okay.
You must join a political platform. That's where to start from.
Okay.
And you must also try to come on board. You know, when a party is constituting an ESCO, they always feel that the position is just that woman leader or one treasurer, because they think you will not eat their money. And it stops at that. And I said, who told them that a woman cannot be a local government chairperson or a party leader? Yeah, party leader at the local government level. It starts there, and before we know it, we will have it at the national level. Who told them a lady cannot be a national party chairperson? But we accept where we are kept. So these are part of the nuggets. Get it right. Start from the foundation. Join a political party. And if you join a political party, you must aspire to be part of the decision-making body. And don't stop at the woman leader. Why don't we have a man leader? After all, who gives them the election? Who gives them the vote? So let's give them man leader too. And then you can give us the secretary of the party. You can give us a... There could be twinning. If one takes the chairperson of the party, the deputy should be a woman.
No.
If you give the secretary to the woman, then the deputy should be a man. And that way we will achieve a lot. So that's part of it. Let's start try to be part of the decision-making body of the party.
Making ourselves relevant.
Making ourselves relevant. So if you sit down and think you can just face out a woman who has come out to contest, so if I'm the national party chairperson, you know it cannot work. It means a president will soon come on board. And if another female is there and another female is vying for the position of a president, they can't mock us, because we also have strings we have held tied together. You understand? So that's my best advice, that more women must step out for this.
You know, Anita, I like what she said.
Involved.
Man leader. Let's have the position of a man leader. Having men leader. Women leader. So man leader, woman leader. Two.
Yes.
But other positions should also be shared.
And everybody has the equal opportunity to be a part of it.
Exactly.
That's quite interesting. But don't you think it's something that we do to ourselves? You know, we look down on ourselves so much.
There's something she said also, that we accept where we are kept. So it's not that is where we're supposed to be. Somebody kept us there.
And we're okay with it.
Now are okay with it. So we must look out for where we're supposed to be, not where somebody wants us to be. I like that.
Yes, quite interesting.
Honestly.
Talking about where you want to be, we are happy that Plateau State is well represented in the executive of the executive council. You know, we are very happy with our representation there. But we want to know, as the only female member of the State House of Assembly, how do you plan on collaborating with the Minister of Women Affairs? You know, Minister of Women Affairs, Honourable Pauline Talent, and what are the areas of collaboration that you think the House of Assembly and her ministry can work together to better the lives of women, especially at the grassroots?
Yes. First and foremost, I celebrated that appointment. I did celebrate it. I sent her a personal text message to Her Excellency then Pauline Talent for that nomination. I'm happy. As we are presently, you know, it's not just about me, but we're supposed to have a commissioner for women affairs, the member of the House of Assembly, and others that will come and then fertilize ideas, synergize, and see the way forward. It's not a one-man show. So I'm waiting eagerly to see how many women. As for the Commissioner for Women Affairs, I know that's for sure, but I'm using this medium to just plead with the governor that to balance issues and make soften some grounds that more women come on board as appointees in his cabinet, so that we can have a voice and work together with Her Excellency. That will be good for us. That's good.
Yeah. Actually, it might interest you actually to know that it's not just the number. Of course, you know that when you stand to speak in the State House of Assembly, you realize that there are certain angle to every of the stories that are brought on the floor of the House that men don't seem to see. It will take you to see that salient angle that is very key, you know, to driving a particular, you know, issue towards achieving a goal, because they are men. It's by creation, they are men. They will always be men. And so their line of thoughts and thinking is one way, and it is not wrong. It's one way. That is why the woman needs to complement, because she also has the other side. She sees, well, we believe that women see all the sides. Men see one side, we see all the sides.
At the same time.
At the same time. You know, so I really want, you know, us to hammer on this aspect. How would women, because I'm this vision 2023 that Baroness has, to see that the capacity of women are built so that they will be empowered both mentally, economically, you know, to make impact. Even if we don't arrive at getting a woman governor or whatever, because that may be the ultimate in the state, you know. But to see that we move away from where we are kept to where we should be, somewhere that, you know, we should be. That our numbers will improve in different aspects of the life of the state and even the country at large. Beyond being party members, you know, members of political parties and vying for positions, what else would you want to see the Plateau woman do in order to contribute her quota to seeing Plateau is improved beyond where we are?
Well, I'm glad, because that word Plateau woman is vague.
Okay.
It's vague in the sense that you're talking about market women, you're talking about politicians, you're talking about civil servants, you're talking about all aspects, whatever and wherever you're coming from, as long as you're a woman. Then your question is, how do we see that this woman more politicians come on board to be a voice for the woman? There is something that, let me say, the business tycoons amongst us. Personally speaking on myself, sincerely speaking, I never thought I was going to contest elections. I was just there, you know, just contributing in the party, but that's a story for another day, not for this hour. And here am I today. But before then, I've seen about some women, like 2 who are vying and contesting for councillorship. I sponsored. See, it's you know, it's my desire to see that they're a woman there, you know, that are voices. So they're stepping out for the contest. I was encouraged and I was happy. And as much financial help as I could, as of then, I did. Until women come together, including the market women, business women, have a platform where we wait and we can sponsor those who are ready to represent us. That is the Women Party. They are ready to represent us. And not only are we going to sit there, but back them up, even financially, to go there for us. They never can forget. That's another way of encouraging. Let me tell you, we've got a lot of young girls. I have a group of young women that their name is Pathfinders. And I was excited when they came. They're all my friends, very young ladies. And I was able to talk them into it, encourage them, tell them certain things privately on how to stand firm. You know, politics is not just about selling yourself or your body, but selling your brain. You know, something you've got. And if only we women come together and begin to see this game that is ours, it's ours. It's my pride, it's my glory, it's my joy, it's my honor, it's my fulfillment to see a woman there. I will contribute instead of finding a way to drag them down. So this is some of the ways we're going to do to help this woman. You know, that's one. Two, when it comes to the season of voting, to the timing of voting, casting our votes, I don't think we should start thinking of whichever platform that woman is coming from. We should just think about the party, Women Party. That day we change it, our slogan to Women Party. And then we give them. Sincerely speaking, we come out more than they do. That's the truth. Even if a woman is babysitting, breastfeeding, has just given birth, she's ready to go and cast her vote. I've seen old women that are sick, but begged and were carried from their beds to go and cast their votes. My mother-in-law is about 85 years old. On that day of the election, she had malaria, but she insisted that we should take her to go and cast her vote. Wow. And she went. Which man will do that? In fact, when they come and see the queue that is long, they say, Nazwa, I'm coming. And then they say, I'm going to one corner, and you don't see them return. But the woman will not move until she casts her vote. So another stage, the second stage of it, support them even with your votes. And by so doing, we're getting somewhere. Wow. Yeah.
It's interesting. Sponsor and support.
Sponsorship and support. But do you think that women are still in the past? Well, let me say in the past, I don't know, that it's been said that women are their own enemies. Even though I still hear people still say it. But I think that you will be in a better position to tell us. Do you think that women are truly their own enemies, or some other factors are responsible?
I don't think women are truly their enemies. The factors that are responsible, first, is culture. Okay. Because our culture believes that women should be at the background. So if you are the first woman to step and say, hey, one matter, you know, it's like you are not behaving ladylike.
Stepping out of boundaries.
It's like you are stepping out of boundaries. It's like you're doing the abnormal, expected of a woman, you know. So I don't think they are really their own enemies, but they have been myopized. Let me say so.
All right.
I think that by their mindset, this is where you are supposed to stay. So the first to take the step is why people are saying, is it possible? Can she do it? But I tell you, as more of us are stepping out, the last one left behind, when she turns and sees there's nobody, she's going to follow us into it. That's nice. They are not actually their own enemies. We need to sensitize them. We need to bring them to a point of this knowledge that we have. You know,
when should we start and where should we start?
We can start now. Now is the time. This is the appointed time. This is the day of salvation. For
now,
the women.
Now you are going evangelistic.
And where should we start? Since the time is now, where should we start?
We start from our little corners.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't look down on the units where these women are coming from. As little as they are in their different town hall meetings, tribal meetings, begin to change these ideas. It's not that it's a revolution to our husbands, no, but step out. Step out. I seated here in this studio today. I want to tell you that the kind of support I got from my husband, may God bless him. My husband supported me without any fear or doubt. Without any fear or doubt. He supported me morally. He supported me financially. He supported me in every wise you can think of. Yes. He went the first meetings just to give an impression. So when he withdrew, in my heart I said, you have done it. You can withdraw now. But the first consultations I was going to, he was always going with me. The one-on-one consultation to the elders, to the religious rulers, to the whatever. And they knew that this man has support for me. So when it came to the general thing, he sat at home.
Easy.
But because I've gotten the fatherly elders, traditional rulers, spiritual leaders' support and prayers, it took me along. It was easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means you need support from home.
You need support from home. So if our women will come to these meetings and start telling them, the only way is you must build a trust in your husband. Personally, you build a trust in your husband. He doesn't have to, you work towards it. Earn that trust from him. By the time you are going to do something like this, step out and represent women or be in a contest, your husband is not going to have any doubt about you. So it starts from the home. And then to those little town hall, village, tribal, committee of what?
Of friends.
We start building ourselves up from there.
Right.
Wow, it's been an interesting discussion, you know, and it's been awesome. You've revealed so much. We have learned. You know, I have learned so much, and I'm sure our viewer has learned so much as well. Thank you. We are very grateful for the time. Honourable Surveyor Esther Simi Dusu, thank you for gracing our studios, and thank you for being on the Baroness with us. The Baroness looks at women issues, and you have our 101% support.
In fact.
And we're sure when next we invite you, of course, you would avail yourself. It is all about women, and we are working together. Beit, looks like the show is over now.
Yeah, you can, I'm sure some of you would want to link up with Honourable Member here. Maybe it's for her to mentor you because you're already aspiring. Doesn't matter how young or how old you are. If you're interested to get in touch with her one way or the other, you can reach us through our numbers that are being beamed on our screen so that we can link you up to her. Well, Baroness is the way.
Yeah, that's right.
You can link up with us, and we can always forward your request to her so you can talk some more.
And if you have any questions, comments, or you want to share a view with us on the Baroness, you can do that via SMS only with your name and your location to the number on our screen, or better still, you can relate with us on our social media platform. You can send us a private mail on our email, baroness.prtvc@gmail.com, or you can drop a message on our Facebook page, the Baroness PRTVC. On behalf of the entire production team, the people behind the scene, we say thank you for being with us on the program. And we'd also want to say a very special thank you to the producer, Esther Nasara, and our coordinating producer, Yakubu Tadi, not forgetting the Baron himself, Jefta Jagden. Join us next week when we come with something exciting, something good, something for you to learn from on the Baroness. On behalf of us all,
it's bye-bye. Like to do it again next week.
Join us.
Politics, let them do it in making of policies. their failure.